I'm listening to Don Tony, and I'm sorry, but those are terrible reasons to censor WWE. I don't know about you, but it's already a notion to get labeled as a child for merely just watching this product or watching wrestling in any form. Because I think we know what the deal is, but we play into it because we're entertained. However, if you're going to censor every damn thing because in some countries it's family friendly, and we're going to pretend like we don't have family friendly shit here, it's like it's crazy, and I'm not buying it. All the countries you named, I've been to. Not only do they have adults who are into adult entertainment, but they know the difference. So my logic is if WWE is so worried about other countries, go run your ass out of those countries. But I'm going to keep my money. So if Netflix or WWE or whoever is mad that I'm no longer paying them, because you can say whatever you want to say about trying to keep things for family friendly. The thing is that 9 times out of 10, it's not a child's credit card who's paying for Netflix or for WWE or for YouTube. It's usually a parent who's paying for any inclination of a child using any form of technology. And really and truthfully, it shouldn't be WWE's responsibility. It shouldn't be another country's responsibility. It should be the parents' responsibility. Forgive me if I'm a bit annoyed that the government is getting over involved in something that we as parents should be doing. And isn't it a wonder why they don't want people thinking independently from them? Kind of like a go along, get along kind of thing. Kind of like what you was talking about. One edit for one thing so it could cover all grounds. Well, those grounds absolutely suck. If you want to make the WWE for children, make it for children. But you ain't got to worry about my tab. And you ain't got to worry about my kid watching it. And that's how a lot of adults are going to see it. Considering the fact that you have a mass majority of adults who are into Pokemon cards, who are into action figures, and I have to keep reminding stupid ass people of this. Okay? You could say that this is made for children all you want. If you watch the original edit of Dragon Ball Z, it is made for adults. It's got blood, it's got guts, it's got spitting ass, it's got cursing, adult language, adult situations. You can make a version of it for kids, and I'm okay with that. But don't pretend like the adult version of it doesn't exist. And in some cases, I understand because the censorship kind of makes you want to get and pay a little extra for the gritty. But in some cases, the censorship makes you not want to pay for it at all under any circumstances. Like, it doesn't disturb me that Brock has a t shirt that says something offensive. and it wasn't really offensive. It just had a dirty word on it. And if we're censoring that word to protect India, boy, this is one channel I want to literally give you the link to, cuz dude is on a quest to try to bring some legitimacy to the street food of India from keeping feet and ass and poop out of the food. And that's not me hating. That's the nigga. I've been to India. I would never eat their street food ever. Not when it's unsanitized like that. No way. But they're censoring the word shit. Boy, they curse a lot over in India. At least the adults do. And last time I checked, there's about as equal amount as adults as there are kids. And can we stop playing like all the kids everywhere are all angels to the heavens, hunky dory? Bro, you got some pretty hardcore ass kids out there. I'm just being serious with you. Hell, when I was a kid, we were going around talking about suck it and pedigreeing motherfuckers on top of lunch tables and like we're reciting old Richard Pryor jokes and George Carlin jokes at 13 and 14. I mean, it's good that I personally believe it was a good thing that we have YouTube Kids and that we have regular YouTube, because when I pay the premium or I pay the whatever the fuck, I have a place for my kid to go. But what is seemingly doing is that is giving an excuse like, oh, well, because we're in a different country, or oh, well, you know, they got to make money, you know. And I I can't stand some of that logic sometimes. No, they're in a different country, so they just have to. It's just is what it is. We got to get used to it. I ain't got to get used to shit. Considering the fact that you're gonna blur it out. We're talking about simulated fighting, and you're gonna blur out the blood. This is we're gonna take the chair and hit you in the stomach and then hit you in the back. Like there used to be a time, and I'm not saying that we should give motherfuckers concussions or anything like that, but give me a break. You could take a chair shot to the head without getting a concussion, and you could do it pretty sturdy, like too, to make it very convincing. Because that's what the art of wrestling is supposed to be, to convince me. When you're blurring out shit, and you're doing unobvious shit to an obvious situation, like with a chair shot to the stomach and to the back, as opposed to just taking that chair and swinging it right to a motherfucker's face. There's no more blood in the Hell in the Cell match, and It's ridiculous. Or we gotta blur out the blood and all that. I don't know what you guys pay for, but it's not. Excuse me. It's not any of that bullshit. And you can say all day, every day, oh, we're doing it for the children. That is one of the worst fucking excuses, and I'm getting really, really tired of it. From a bunch of adults who I know for a fact are not really worried about my children. They're just worried about trying to get more money through the means of using the name of children. Like, I get it. There are kids or parents that bring their kids to wrestling events that be wearing like Rey Mysterio mask. And Rey Mysterio is usually a face. He comes out and he does the thing with because that's more of like an appreciation thing. There's an adult who paid for the ticket. There's an adult who paid for the mask. So, more than likely, you giving. I mean, it's just, it's not said like that because, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say a rotten way of saying it, but it's real. And quite personally, if you haven't explained to your kids that sometimes at a wrestling event it could get a little sturdy, considering the fact that the whole art of wrestling is slamming another man as hard as you can onto a mat that is about as hard as concrete. Also, considering the fact that things happen, but now we're finding people for bleeding and shit like that. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm starting to believe that vampires are real because what is this bullshit where we gotta like turn things black and white, or we gotta like there's so much emphasis on people don't bleed, or are people like look, you get into it should be emphasized actually. That's why there used to be a "Don't try this at home" banner because they were fully aware that the kids weren't asking for their parents' permission to do backyard bullshit, which I totally disagree with. But if you're gonna be stupid, you better be tough. Now it's if you're gonna be stupid, well let's go ahead and put padding all over the bubble house and let the kids be stupid. Like no, like there used to be lessons to this shit. You punch a kid in the nose, a kid punch another kid in the nose, expect some blood. Life doesn't turn black and white. That's what I'm thinking. That maybe the vampires get so enticed by seeing blood that they ain't got no choice but to just go and kill everybody for some blood. That's what I'm thinking. Because other than that, why do we keep pretending like people don't bleed or there is no blood or we're fighting people for bleeding in a fucking sport where it could get again it could get pretty like it's so crazy how we constantly use another era of wrestling. the Attitude Era, or even the Ruthless Aggression Era. And we constantly use some of the most aggressive, some of the most horrific, some of the most gruesome scenes to promote modern day wrestling. We don't censor. We like there was no censorship for any of that promotion, but now there is. And what does that do to that promotion? To the shit that I was basically raised on. And what they're anticipating is that I guess the new generation is just supposed to go along with things just turning black and white. Again, the new kids on the block are not as gentle as you think that they are. Okay? Of course, the babies from, 2 years old to like 10 years old, of course, they're the kids but it's like at the same time, why would you bring your 5-year-old or 10-year-old to a Hell in a Cell event? Why? Like, that's why they have certain wrestlers that appeal more to children than anything else. But it still needs to be explained, parents to children, that sometimes things get a little gruesome. Like, it emphasizes defense, like someone try to break into your home. Because not everything is going to be hunky dory, angelic all the time. As you can see, there's a lot of people having to rush to their toilets because of either Taco Bell or produce from whichever one of these Richian billion dollar companies. And notice how they can't censor the shit that you shit in your toilet, but they can censor the shit that's on Brock Lesnar's t-shirt. Goofy shit. And what are we doing that for? The chill. It's a terrible fucking excuse. I don't need a bunch of adults that I don't know to be worried about my children. It's either going to be I'm going to let my kids watch this, but I'm going to explain every aspect to him, what exactly we're engaging with here. Because eventually, after I'm done with raising my child in the kid process, he's eventually going to become a teen, and he's eventually going to become an adult. And all that young birdie boo boo bullshit, that won't work on him in terms of him being an adult, him being a teenager even. Okay? More than likely, as a teenager, he's going to probably want to get into something a little bit more extreme than whatever he was raised on as a kid. I guess these companies think that you're supposed to just stay a kid forever. And I guess these companies think that I'm supposed to just fall for that bullshit. And it's like, nope, not at all. Because if I'm really that offended by blood or cursing or hard language, I either explain it to my kid or I don't let them watch it. If it's too much. Like, more than likely, I wouldn't let my son watch a New Jack match, but by like putting so much emphasis on who New Jack is and the New Jack match, more than likely, one day he's going to sneak off without my authority, without my permission, and he's going to go off and what is all this New Jack stuff about? And he's going to be like, oh shit, that's what New Jack is. He's like, yeah, that's what I was trying to keep you from watching. But I remember when I was a kid, every single fucking thing that my parents told me, don't watch this or be careful. I eventually indulged in. Eventually. I mean, I get it. Why there's an age limit. I understand. But I was watching Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor and all that shit way before the age of 13. Okay, and like I get why you need to age and gain some wisdom because when I was a kid, I was just laughing at all the goofy jokes that they was doing, not really understanding the emphasis or the construct or the what do you call it? Like I wouldn't understand the core of the joke until I got a little bit older, until I broke up with a female or two, or until I had a situation where I got drunk, or I had a situation that related to the jokes that some of my favorite comedians were telling. It's hard to do that, and especially in a world where nobody is really experiencing anything because it's like damn near they're not allowed to. You know, because I guess what they think is if they see blood in the WWE, that it's gonna inspire people to like. It's some dumb shit, but we'll get back to it. I gotta use the bathroom real quick. Hold on, let me check my time. Okay, I'll be right back. But I'm gonna put the camera off real quick, just in case you see a butt naked. And they can censor. They can't censor everybody though. And I can tell you right now, the response to people like Don Tony saying stupid shit like, "Oh, it is what it is," or "It's for these reasons," or "It's for the sake of business," and then we look at certain events and they're tarping off sections of the fucking arena or the stadium, which is even worse because not enough tickets are being sold because not enough people are buying this bullshit. I'm not buying it. And if I'm not buying it, then how's my kid going to engage in it? And they don't think about none of that bullshit. They just think, well, we're doing it for the children. No, you're doing it because you're trying to get more money. And you have sponsors and you have advertisers and you have brokers and all that bullshit. Well, they need to be informed that the thing that they're investing in could get pretty gruesome from time to time. As a matter of fact, it's supposed to get gruesome from time to time. Did you hear them fucking boos when CM Punk and Cody Rhodes was shaking hands? Ain't nobody's there to see fucking friendship and tickle me Elmo bullshit. Like you hear it in the crowd. That means the kids are becoming teenagers. That's what that means. And soon those teenagers are gonna be adults. They're gonna want to see some blood. They're gonna want to see some guts. They're gonna want to have a character that comes out and talks some shit and whoop some ass. But if we're gonna turn everything into tickle me Elmo, cute cutesy cuddly shit, then don't be surprised when the adults of the WWE world decide to no longer buy this bullshit no more. So you could do the whole behind the scene with Cody Rhodes and Punk. That becomes more diluted because we see all the bullshit that you're trying to do for quote unquote the children and family entertainment and all that shit. It's like, bruh, I have never antiphasized that anything needs to be super watered down because I was that concerned about my kids. Nigga, like, again, it's my responsibility on what my kids consume in terms of entertainment and product. It really is up to me. I have to sit down and explain this to them. So before my son goes off and watches rated R movies, he's got to understand what's the emphasis behind these ratings. The best person to explain it to them is again the parents. I did not ask WWE to water down everything for my kids, knowing damn well. And yeah, I have been clearing my throat a lot. For those of you who are concerned about my throat, it's because I'm back to smoking that shit. So either listen to the message or concentrate on whatever you want to concentrate on. I really don't care. But you saw how everyone was with Cody Rhodes and CM Punk in the back, and Cody Rhodes approached dude. It was like you accidentally hit me with the championship and all that bullshit, and they had all that, that quote unquote backstage, which was staged, and then they had the because I've been noticing that WWE's been doing this more and more because of TKO, because of UFC, but they're starting to do more of the face-offs, which I don't mind. I kind of don't mind it really. It was kind of an AEW thing though, but WWE, I think they get it now that they've been really needing competition to push them to the next level, and that's what people pay to see. Notice how Ring of Honor is not up there. What do they do before every match? They shake hands and it's all good, friend. But what are some of the matches that are still talked about this day, to this day? Like the matches between CM Punk and Raven. Like there was no shaking hands in that bullshit. There was a story. There was an interest. There was a purpose. And lo and behold, we still had that same dude creating the story, creating the interest, but starting off on all this, it was the whole it was the whole yeah, they tried to do the whole Ring of Honor thing, but that's not what people pay to see. If I want a Ring of Honor, I'll go pay to watch, but I don't want to watch two dudes shake hands before they get into a fight. I want to see two dudes fuck each other up. That's why the whole Seth Rollins versus CM Punk thing on the 6th of what was it, January? I remember that date. I remember that match. I remember how it ended. And why is that? because I was convinced, even in the real, even in the shoot form, that CM Punk and Seth Rollins really wanted to, like, they built up this story that interests me. Like, despite the fact that CM Punk was once there, he's now an outsider because at one point he was trying to take down the company. Seth Rollins is now looked upon as someone who stuck around and soldiered it out. And oddly enough, their careers are kind of mirrored. They're both the same. Like they won the same amount of titles. They have similar accomplishments, and it made it interesting to see who is the better man. It was none of that tickle me, rated PG. Oh, we're doing this for the family friendly. Fuck all that family friendly, nigga. That's what we have YouTube Kids for. That's what we have parents for. If parents, whoever fucking parents are over in India, if they want things to be family friendly, nigga, it's up to them. The product I pay to watch is two niggas getting in the ring fucking each other up. And sometimes it might be some blood. Because I'm an adult. I'm going to watch adult content. I don't want to watch. If I do watch some kiddie content bullshit, it better be cool. It better be some Jackie Chan shit or something like that. Or it better be like Ben 10 or like Courage the Cowardly Dog, Tom and Jerry, something like that. Something in that field. And even those cartoons, like Tom and Jerry, Tom and Jerry have a lot of what you would call adult innuendos. Like we're talking about, y'all talk about terms of service with YouTube. Go look at some of the old Tom and Jerry cartoons. I ain't gonna talk too much about it, but it's kind of depressing seeing a cat and a mouse sitting on the train tracks. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And what were they sitting on the train tracks for? Because they lost their love, and another nigga came along and was doing, apparently was outperforming them. Bro, that is life. How many of you have lost a chickapoo due to the fact that the next dude that came along just outperformed you, just had more money, had more swag, had a better look, had better suits? Dude, that concept is in a fucking Tom and Jerry cartoon. So it's kind of hard to avoid adult situations and adult content when it's like it's a part of life essentially. Of course, as a kid, I didn't get the full gist of it. I just thought, oh man, that's pretty sad. But the older I got, the more that scene from Tom and Jerry, the more that shit meant something. So I'm sorry to the Don, but not sorry. It's just a terrible excuse that people like to make. And in terms, you say it's for the business. Are they making more business or less business because of this tickle me Elmo bullshit? Are there more people complaining about the product? Are more people, because it looks like there's a lot of people complaining about this shit and complaining about the booking and complaining about the censorship, only for yo monkey ass to come along and, well, they have to do what they have to do. Well, what they're doing absolutely fucking sucks, and I'm not going to pay for it anymore. So you can say whatever the fuck you want to say. If anything, if I do continue to watch it, I'm gonna watch it on the Grey Web, where I can watch it for free. And I ain't got to worry about Peacock. I ain't got to worry about Netflix. I ain't got to. All I got to do is just worry about paying my motherfucking internet. And there's no way they could trace what I'm doing because I'm using VPN. So thank you for all you stupid ass politicians who keep pushing age verification, because that just keeps pushing people like me to go to VPN. What you gonna do? Thank you for Sony, PlayStation, and Microsoft for doing all the stupid shit that you're doing, because what did we talk about earlier in one of my streams? Emulation, creating your own game, creating your own. Thank you. Because in terms of you motherfuckers trying to create plans on trying to trap people, you're really just making more of an emphasis of setting us free. And that's what they really don't want. But in turn, that means I have to rely on you less and less on trying to protect my children. Nigga, my protection of my children is in my hands. Some strange ass fucking adult around my children for. That's just me though. You guys can think however you want to think. And I guess for the one and only time, the government and companies are actually listening to good people. Because 9 times out of 10, they don't give a fuck about good people. Because if they gave a fuck about good people, my man right here, he'll still have his job. The prices at Walmart wouldn't be through the fucking roof. We wouldn't be using AI to try to replace people. I'm sorry, are there these tech people building underground bunkers because they feel something's on the way? Because it's burning the fuck up and you can't even swim in the ocean because apparently there's bacteria out in the ocean that resembles feces. So it's literally we living in a world turning into shit literally. But censor the word shit off of Brock Lesnar's t-shirt. That'll help. That'll help lower my fucking rent. That'll help lower the price of Netflix. The fuck out of here, bro. When you do stupid ass censorship shit like that, and I'm paying for that, that makes me not want to pay for it. And when motherfuckers like Don Tony says the stupid shit that he says, and he has a very successful podcast, very intelligent person, but from time to time, there's just some shit that just said that I'm sorry, I just don't agree with. Don't agree with at all. Oh, they have to do what they have to do. Well, I got to do what I got to do. And good luck to them. I'm not gonna wish on the downfall for the WWE. I'm not gonna wish any downfall for any company. Because who knows? Sometimes I'm in, sometimes I'm out. Right now I'm out. I am out because I'm sorry, but all the censorship in the WWE that doesn't help with the product. For me at least. It just doesn't. He says my job I used to have is probably going to be taken over by AI anyway. Well, I would say don't give up till it happens, but you got to make whatever call you make. I'm just simply saying, eventually, the WWE wrestling is going to get so fucking terrible that it's going to be a lot of AI replacing that bullshit. As a matter of fact, it kind of already has. They already they're already using AI bullshit where they're fucking up Nick Aldis's eyebrows and shit like that. because they don't want to pay for like the picture guy, or they don't want to pay for the. You remember how they used to do the Titantron, and they used to do like little videos for wrestlers. They don't do that shit no more. Now the motherfuckers just come out to their name. They just come out to little, and sooner or later it won't even be that. It'll just be it's just like what's the difference between cheering for a WWE superstar and cheering for a fucking robot? Cheering for AI at that point. This is some fucking faceless fuck you never seen before, and they just put a name up there. Like, what happened to the videos of like all the shit that they used to do, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you used to have the Stone Cold video. You used to see like three motherfuckers get stunned, and him drinking some beer, or cracking one, or driving to some bony down to the ring or whatever. They used to actually pay someone to do that. Now, they just they just get rid of that motherfucker, and they just pay one of their own people to just put up a name. Here you go. Here you go, Bailey. Just just come out to your name. Just that's all you need. Just a little cutesy little fucking animations and then your name. That's all you need. It's like, okay. So, and somebody's getting paid for that shit. Might as well go ahead and pay the wrestlers to do that if that's the case. Pay the wrestlers to become somewhat of, because it's not, nigga, I could computer tech shit like that. But like, even doing the Titantron video thing, that's not hard to do either. You're just taking compilations of things that have already been recorded and just putting it into a video. And I guess they think to themselves they were paying the motherfucker too much. That's their call. I mean, like I said, there's some things that will improve, but it's kind of like the two steps forward, four steps back kind of thing. So I would also synthesize AI and how much is going to affect a lot of these organizations, wrestling being included. It's going to have a major effect on music. You could tell because I can't remember what video I was watching, but they were literally saying, yeah, AI is basically gonna replace a lot of the artists, which I don't really see because I believe in like there being a soul, but these companies don't give a fuck about that. They just care about the sound. And if that's all they care about, they don't need to pay an artist an inclination of nothing. No residuals, no compensation, no none of that. Because it's not necessary anymore. All you need is a sound. And a motherfucker will ask, well, who's that artist? Oh, that artist is so and so created by some fat motherfucker in the office who he has residuals over just for the mere fact that nobody copies his AI. That's it. That's it. There will be no more real artist anymore. It'll just be just a motherfucker who owns a name, who owns a sound. And that name is AI. That sound is AI. Now, I don't know how that's going to affect wrestling per se, but it kind of has in terms of what they're doing with entrances. The AI has definitely affected that world. So it's affecting the music world. We don't know exactly how deep it's going to get in the sports world, but you better believe like all the technical positions, like my buddy here is saying his job is more than likely going to get replaced by AI. What the fuck you think is going to happen with all those other jobs that in technical sense don't need humans? It's going to get a little weird for the wrestlers, I guess, because the more and more time goes on, they're going to be dealing with less and less people, and they're going to be dealing with more and more, like, do you need humans to take pictures anymore? Do you need humans to even do video anymore? Like, will you even be seeing the cameraman at the ring anymore? Like that guy costs money. Y'all want to talk about money? Let's talk about money. Let's talk about what's really replacing who and what. Oh, and podcasting, by the way, is also up on the list too. Because you already have plethora of videos, a, a, a megatron amount of videos that don't require people. You have a robot basically talking to you the entire time. A robot that has no emotions, no feelings, but is getting you to feel emotions and feelings. A robot that, in technical terms, is being paid to be there, and more than likely is requiring you to pay whoever runs that channel. But keep in mind, the person talking to you is not real. The image you're looking at is not real. The only thing that's real is the person that pushed the button to create that. And that's barely real because you don't even know who that is. And the more time goes on, the more distant that becomes. You want to get mad at the artist and what the artist said? The artist says some controversial, well, you're practically getting mad at nobody. So when these people decide to take AI to an uncensored level, who are you really going to get mad at that point? Who are you going to get mad at? Because it confuses me why people get mad at offensive shit now. If it's so offensive, either A, don't listen to it, or challenge why it's offensive. And maybe you could do something about it in terms of, why certain aspects of things shouldn't go in certain places. Because we just had a conversation about Young Miami, right? She's an adult. She's bringing adult situations. Isn't it weird how there's a lot of emphasis on shutting down what she does, which I don't, I'm not into, but there's a place for her music, but there's also a place for fighting and sport. And I just find it funny how this censorship shit works in some senses. All I'm saying is that there's a time and place for it. And if you're going to get, because again, when it comes to the Young Miami bullshit, the thing that disturbed me the most was you had little girls way under the age who were singing the lyrics to that bullshit. So people who talk about protecting the children, well, you're doing a pretty terrible fucking job. That's how I know that the WWE, they're not here for the children. Because the kids are going to figure out one way or another to watch what they're going to want to watch. It's up to the parents. I emphasize it's up to the parents. It is your responsibility. And I'm saying this, you can only do the best that you can. Because again, if you're going to be stupid, then you better be tough. He says, I'm waiting for the day that the robot develops emotions and joins the picket line. That'll be hilarious. But even then, you'll be able to really tell the difference. Because again, the robot, even if the robot shuts down, even if the robot can no longer sing and no longer, the robot doesn't have to worry about rent. The robot doesn't have to worry so much about reproduction or food or like the robot he ain't gotta worry about diarrhea or she ain't gotta worry about diarrhea. And more than likely, in certain aspects, the robot doesn't have to worry about censorship, but that's what they're using the AI for right now, which is ridiculous. Because AI costs billions of dollars only for them to use it to just cover up some bullshit that is really ridiculous and is just costing them more customers. And if anything, I think the downfall with a lot of this shit is that a lot more of the people who are checking out of they're gonna just start getting into podcasting. They're gonna start getting into AIing. They're gonna start getting into the things that are gonna start being more of a competition to these companies as opposed to anything else. So in the hopes of protecting, in the hopes of family friendly, what they're actually creating is the very fucking thing that's going to go against everything that they claim that they're fighting for. Which again is a fucking stupid idea because why was everyone booing CM Punk and Cody Rhodes shaking hands? Why was everyone when they were cursing at each other or when CM Punk shoved Cody Rhodes' face, everyone was like, "Oh my God! Oh, why do we do that?" Is it because as human beings we're into the drama and we're into the fighting and we're into the controversy and all that bullshit? If I want to see some tickle me Elmo bullshit, I'll watch Sesame Street. Okay? But I want to watch adult content. And if my son happens to walk into the room, then I either have to A, explain it to him, or B, he's going to end up watching it, but break it down to the do's and the don'ts. And if he's going to do the don'ts, then better be tough. Again, when your parent tell you not to do something, you go out and do it, and then your ass end up getting hurt. There's only so many fingers you can point at. I'm not going to be pointing my fingers at the WWE. Okay? It's not the WWE's fault. And quite frankly, if goofy ass parents pointing their fingers and blaming WWE and this and that and the other, well, boy, we got to go down a lot of roads first because you want to talk about concussions and all that shit. We really have to cover a lot of avenues on that. Because again, it could get worse in one way or another in terms of AI. Again, I think people take the sport or the art of wrestling way too fucking seriously, other than as opposed to other sports. Like again, you're not going to censor the blood in UFC, which again is a part of the same organization. You're not going to censor blood in in boxing. You're not going to censor blood in life. So it's like, what is really the call here? And the answers I'm getting back, utterly fucking ridiculous. Sorry, that's just the way I see it. You can see it however you want to see it. Let me know how you feel down in the comment section. We'll probably end up talking a little bit more about this a little later on. But yeah, definitely give me your viewpoints, because again, AI. Remember all the truck drivers who used to drive the trucks for the WWE? Planes that used to fly. Oh, you can have drones now without without people. Those fly around without people. So again, just how bad is it going to get? Because keep in mind, each time you replace the human being with the robot, what you're saying is that you don't care about that person eating, you don't care about that person's family, you don't care about that person living, because you could just simply replace them with something that doesn't have to worry about any of those qualities. And that's all cool and all, but then at some point, you'll have to ask one very particular question: what is the point of humanity? Because again, for all you billion-dollar companies out there, after you get rid of enough human beings who can't afford anything, how are they going to be able to afford you? Questions, answers. We'll get to those later.